Tell me if this feels familiar. Your friend just got another tattoo. Someone at work is showing people the new piece on their arm. You open your feed, and every other photo looks like fresh ink. Healed ink, matching ink, meaningful ink, tiny symbols, full sleeves, dates, names, quotes. And then there is you. Still nothing. No hidden tattoo. No tiny one on your ankle. No first tattoo you are secretly planning. Just clean skin. And at some point, you start to feel the question, even if nobody says it out loud. Why am I the one who never did it? Because tattoos used to be the thing that made someone stand out. Now, in a lot of places, not having one can make you feel like the noticeable one. Not everyone has tattoos, but enough people do that clean skin can start to feel like a statement, even when you never meant it as one. Your friends may not care. Your coworkers may not be judging you. Strangers probably think about it less than you imagine. But culturally, something has changed. Tattoos are no longer only seen as rebellion, danger, or some dramatic life decision. They are normal. They are common. They are personal. They are decoration. They are memory. So the more interesting question is not, why do people get tattoos? We talk about that all the time. The quieter question is, why do some people never feel the pull at all? And the answer is usually not as simple as people think. When someone says they do not want a tattoo, other people often rush to easy explanations. Maybe you are scared of the pain. Maybe you are worried about your parents. Maybe you are too cautious. Maybe you are too plain. Maybe you just have not found the right design yet. But for a lot of people, it is not fear. It is not boredom. It is not a lack of personality. Sometimes it has more to do with how you experience permanence. Because a tattoo is not just something you like today, it is something you agree to carry forward. And some people feel that very strongly. They do not look at a tattoo and only think, would this look good on me? They think, would I still want this attached to me when my life feels completely different? That is a different question. Some people have a strong sense of their future self. They can imagine themselves 10 years from now, 20 years from now, older, changed, living a different life, and still feel connected to that person. It still feels like them. So making a permanent choice today does not feel strange. It feels like one chapter speaking to another. But not everyone experiences time that way. For some people, the future self feels less familiar. You know you will still be you, but you also know you may not think the same way, want the same things, love the same symbols, or even recognize the emotional world you are living in right now. And because of that, a tattoo can feel like making a decision for someone you have not met yet. That is not weakness. That is not being dramatic. It is a real hesitation. Do I have the right to choose something permanent for a version of me who might see the world differently? For some people, that thought is enough to stop the whole thing. And then there is regret. Not regret after it happens, regret before it happens. Some people are very good at mentally walking into the future and feeling the possible consequences before they arrive. They do not only ask, do I like this design right now? They ask, can I imagine a future where I do not like what this represents anymore? They imagine the breakup after the matching tattoo, the belief they outgrow, the aesthetic that once felt like their whole personality and later feels like a costume, the symbol that made perfect sense during one season of life, but not in the next. They are not avoiding the tattoo because they are empty. They are avoiding the possibility of looking down one day and feeling trapped by an old version of themselves. From the outside, that can look like overthinking. From the inside, it feels like protection. You are not just asking whether something is beautiful. You are asking whether beauty should be permanent. And for many people, the answer is not obvious. There is also a deeper identity piece here. Some people do not stay untattooed because they have no identity. It is almost the opposite. Their identity feels alive. It moves. They go through phases, not in a shallow way, but in a real way. They change their mind. They grow out of old versions of themselves. They surprise themselves. They look back at what they used to be certain about and think, I cannot believe that was me. And because of that, a tattoo can feel strange, not because the image is wrong, but because the idea of locking in one image feels wrong. It can feel like taking one paragraph from a long book and asking it to represent the whole story. Maybe that paragraph was true. Maybe it mattered. Maybe it saved you at the time. But does it need to live on your skin forever? For some people, yes. For others, the meaning is real, but it does not need to be fixed in place. That difference matters. Still, this is where it gets complicated, because staying open can be wise. It can mean you understand yourself well enough to know you keep changing. It can mean you are not easily pressured into proving your identity in a visible way. It can mean you respect your future enough to leave room. But sometimes, staying open can also hide something else. Sometimes I might change really means I do not want to be defined. Sometimes clean skin is not about freedom. It is about avoiding the discomfort of choosing. Because any visible choice says something, and saying something means someone might misunderstand it. They might judge it. They might expect you to stand by it. That is the thin line. One person has no tattoos because they know themselves. Another person has no tattoos because they are afraid to be known too clearly. From the outside, those choices can look exactly the same, but inside, they come from very different places, and social perception plays a bigger role than people admit. Even though tattoos are common now, they still communicate. Maybe not the same message everywhere, maybe not the same message to every person, but they are visible, and visible things get read. A tattoo can make someone look artistic, bold, sentimental, rebellious, spiritual, impulsive, stylish, intense, soft, dangerous, confident, or unserious, depending on who is looking. And that is the problem for some people. It is not that they believe those judgments are fair. They just know those judgments exist. They know a tattoo is not only personal art, it is also a message other people might interpret without permission. And once it is on your body, you cannot fully control what story other people attach to it. Some people are deeply aware of first impressions. They notice how clothing changes the way people speak to you. They notice how a hairstyle shifts assumptions. They notice how one visible detail can make people feel like they know more about you than they actually do. So for them, a permanent mark does not feel neutral. It feels like giving the world one more thing to read. And they may not want that, not because they are fake, not because they are hiding, but because they prefer to choose when, how, and with whom they share the deeper parts of themselves. Then there is the quieter reason. For some people, clean skin is not a blank space waiting to be filled. It is the preference. It is the look. It is the feeling of simplicity. There is something peaceful to them about leaving the body unmarked, not because the body is meaningless, but because it already feels complete. They may love symbols. They may have memories that shaped them. They may carry grief, loyalty, faith, love, anger, survival. all of it. But they do not feel the need to display it permanently. For them, meaning can stay internal, private, unannounced. Not everything important has to become visible. And this can be hard to explain in a culture that often treats expression as proof. If you love something, show it. If you survived something, mark it. If something changed you, turn it into an image. And for many people, that is beautiful. But for others, the most meaningful things do not become less meaningful because they are not shown. They stay inside. They are lived, not displayed. They are remembered without being written on the skin. We have built a strange little story that tattoos equal depth. As if ink automatically means someone has a story. As if clean skin means nothing happened. But life does not work like that. A person can be deeply marked without being visibly marked. You can carry loss in the way you trust. You can carry love in the way you speak. You can carry trauma in your nervous system. You can carry growth in the boundaries you finally set. You can carry rebellion in the life you chose, quietly, without needing it to look rebellious from the outside. No tattoo does not mean no story. No ink does not mean no edge. No visible symbol does not mean there is no self. Sometimes the most important things that happen to you are not things you want strangers to see. And sometimes you simply do not need a permanent reminder of something you already know. So what might it reveal about you if you have never wanted a tattoo? It might mean you have a strong relationship with time. You think about the future before the future arrives. It might mean you are sensitive to regret, not in a fearful way, but in a careful way. It might mean your identity feels fluid, and you do not want one season of your life to speak for all the others. It might mean you are aware of how people read visible choices, and you do not want to hand over that much interpretation. It might mean your sense of meaning is private. You do not need everything that matters to you to become part of your appearance. But none of this automatically makes you deeper. It does not make you wiser than people with tattoos. It does not mean you are more thoughtful, more mature, or more authentic. A tattoo can be conscious. Clean skin can be unconscious. A tattoo can come from pressure. So can having none. That is the point most people miss. The psychology is not in the ink or the absence of it. It is in the reason. Two people can have the exact same tattoo for completely different reasons. And two people can have completely clean skin for completely different reasons. One person chooses a tattoo because it truly belongs to them. Another gets one because everyone around them made it feel like the next step. One person stays unmarked because it feels honest. Another stays unmarked because they are scared of choosing anything they might have to stand behind. So the real question is not, should you have tattoos? And it is not, is clean skin better? The real question is ownership. Did you choose it? Did you actually choose it? Not your friend group, not the trend, not the fear of being judged, not the fear of changing, not the pressure to look interesting, not the pressure to look untouched. Whether you are covered in ink or completely unmarked, the important thing is not what your skin says. It is whether your choice is really yours.